Under his leadership, Railways achieved its best ever safety record of 0 passenger deaths in accidents and led transformational changes in India's power sector, including the fast tracking of electrification of the nearly 18,000 unelectrified villages in some of the remotest and inaccessible parts of the country. He also received the 4th annual Carnot Prize in 2018, recognizing the path-breaking transformations in India's energy sector. Sir has a brilliant academic record as well. He was the All India second rank holder, chartered accountant, and second rank holder in law in Mumbai University. He has been a well-known investment banker and has advised top corporates on management strategy and growth. He has also served on the board of India's largest commercial banks, the State Bank of India and Bank of Baroda. We now request our chief guest for his convocation address, please.
Thank you very much, Madam. Very good morning to all our young friends today. And a big, big congratulations to all the 1,028 students who are receiving their degrees, their diplomas, their awards. A big round of congratulations and applause for all of them. Shri B.V.R. Subramaniam, Chancellor of the IIFT, Secretary, Department of Commerce, Government of India, Professor Manoj Pant, the esteemed Vice Chancellor, and if I can say the father figure of this institution, really passionate about making this a world-class organization and an organization of national repute and eminence, Dr. Rakesh Mohan Joshi, the Dean of IIFT, Dr. K. Rangarajan, the head of the Kolkata campus of IIFT, Dr. Sanjay Rastogi, the head of the Graduate Studies in Management at IIFT, all the faculty members, staff, alumni, students, proud parents, many of whom could not join for restrictions of space and attendance due to COVID, but many of whom are on the webcast with us today, friends from the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, a proud moment for all of us as our young friends graduate after a very intense program at the IIFT. And for me personally, a matter of great happiness, because it's the first convocation that I have attended physically after the COVID-19 pandemic. So truly delighted to meet all of you. In a way, it symbolizes the start of a new journey. And what better coincidence, what better day to choose than the day when the Honorable Prime Minister in the morning addressed the nation on the fabulous achievement of India, 1 billion doses, 100 crore vaccination doses. Truly, India stands proud today. The 100 crore vaccination doses, ladies and gentlemen, young friends, is a symbol of India's strength, confidence, capabilities, capacity, our resilience, our abilities, our talent. It's a salute to 130 crore Indians' collective effort, the Jan Bhagiyadari, जो इस देश ने सामूहिक रूप से दिखाई। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में जिस प्रकार से पूरा देश एकजुट होकर इस काम में लगा, हमारे हेल्थ वर्कर्स, हमारे कोविड वॉरियर्स, अलग अलग संस्थाएं जो देश भर में सेवा देती रही पूरी तरीके से कोविड के दौरान भी, चाहे वो हमारे सरकारी विभाग के अधिकारी क्यों ना हो, चाहे वो हमारे प्रोफेसर्स और टीचर्स क्यों ना हो, रेलवे के कर्मचारी, एयरलाइंस के कर्मचारी, ट्रक वाहन चालक जो इस देश की गतिविधियों को, अर्थव्यवस्था को चालू रखे थ्रू आउट दिस पीरियड, एक प्रकार से एक आत्मनिर्भर भारत, अ सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंट इंडिया, an India that believes in itself, a self-reliant India that not only serves the needs of India but of the whole world, an India that makes for India but also makes for the whole world. I think this vaccination program is a true symbol of the collective wisdom and strength of India. And with the permission of the Chancellor and the Vice Chancellor, may I request all of us to stand up and give a standing ovation to yourself, both for your achievements today and for the country's achievements. Friends, today's function also marks a new dawn in your lives. It will be the next step from acquisition of knowledge to application of knowledge. All the students from different disciplines, different programs, different courses, online, hybrid, physical, across 2 batches who are successfully completing their education at the IIFT today deserve the highest accolades for persevering with their studies, for the high achievements that each one of you have demonstrated. And on behalf of all of us, I would like to compliment and congratulate each and every one of the 1,028 students from the different batches which are graduating today, the MBA in International Business, the executive programs, the Masters in Economics, the doctoral programs, the PhDs in Management and Economics. Truly, all of you make us proud. All of you are the hope for a very bright future for India. And my best wishes to all of you, to all the award winners. And I'm sure you will make this institution proud, you will make India proud, and demonstrate the highest standards of excellence as you foray into your life as an entrepreneur, working for some corporation, working in international organizations, working in different walks of life. I hope to see some of you working in government also. But collectively, we have a big role to play for the future of 1.3 billion Indians. Help the country gains higher levels of prosperity for all our people. And I'm sure each one of you will contribute immensely in the days and years ahead. Ever since IIFT was started in 1963, even before I was born, it has been known for all the good work, for the high levels and standards of education that are imparted here, and is currently recognized internationally. So whenever we are engaging with free trade agreements, with dialogues with other countries, very often the subject of dual degrees, the subject of collaborations with IIFT also come up. And I would like to urge the Chancellor and Vice Chancellor to take the process of dual degrees forward, to fast-track it, identify institutions of eminence across the world. Our dialogue with Australia, with the United Kingdom, with the UAE has already shown the huge interest that they have in collaborating with Indian universities and institutions of eminence. And I would urge IIFT to take this process forward, fast-track it, and we would be delighted to act as a facilitator in any way that we can to help you strengthen your bonds with international organizations. We have noted your request to be recognized as an institute of national eminence and importance, and we shall pursue that also in the forthcoming months through the necessary legislative changes that it would require. In fact, the IIFT is known as a provider of strong knowledge and as a resource base. And as the Honorable Vice Chancellor mentioned, has consistently ranked amongst the leading business schools in the Asia-Pacific region. My compliments to all of you, the leaders of IIFT, to all the faculty, and to all the students, because collectively you provide that framework where we can get such eminent recognitions. Mr. Subramaniam, Mr. Pant, as I stand here today, I am reminded of a year 33 years ago in 1988 when I had come down from Mumbai to receive my certificate as a chartered accountant. Since the institute is in Delhi, the convocation was always traditionally held in the convention hall at the Ashoka Hotel. It was probably one of the first times I visited the Ashoka Hotel. And as I was seeing the young sister, Miss Amika, can you stand up? Who received several awards, one after the other. And I was reminded of that date. It was also sometime in October or November of 1988 when I received my Chartered Accountancy certificate. And truly, I recall that it's a matter of immense pride, joy and happiness, and also a day of reflection on what you're going to do as you go forward in life. I'm sure each one of you has plans. And I was told that there's 100% recruitment for all those who graduate from IIFT. The current salary levels, I was given to understand, average at about 21 lakhs, with some of the bright students going to as much as 1 crore rupees plus salary coming out of the high quality education that you receive in the IIFT. And all of this encourages me to suggest that this platform should now recraft its success story in a much more ambitious fashion. We can certainly look at expanding campuses as was suggested by the Vice Chancellor. But I think the COVID-19 has shown us that we can convert a problem into a solution. The Honorable Prime Minister often says, and India has demonstrated, how a crisis can be converted to an opportunity. After all, when today we are on the path of achieving the highest ever export India has ever done, $400 billion export, which was unimaginable until 2 years ago. We are confident of achieving this year. We have already done $197 billion in the first 6 months. Again, a record for India, aspiring to go up to $1 trillion in the near future. Initially, $1 trillion of goods and services. Finally, $1 trillion on the merchandise goods, $1 trillion on the services side, a $2 trillion contribution to India's economy. When we have such ambitious targets, we will need thousands of young boys and girls coming out of IIFT. And I would urge you to seriously see what more we can do. Expand our faculty, try and attract the best of faculty, get more students on the online mode. A lot of our education is eminently suitable for online studies. The hybrid mode has tremendous potential, so students can come in batches so that the experience of a campus coupled with the online education can help us create wonderful hybrid education systems. And I would also say, and I do appreciate and recognize that the campus experience has its own dynamics, has its own advantages. The peer pressure also, peer review also, and the relationships that we build on campus has huge value. But can we not look innovatively, going beyond the traditional thinking of first trying to get land in Noida, then preparing plans and budgets, spending 5 years to build an institution or a good campus? I don't think this country has that luxury of time. At least I don't. I think my colleagues here will bear me out that this is a nation in a hurry. 130 crore people are yearning for prosperity, for a better quality of life, for more opportunities. And I would urge you to look at probably some other institutions with which we can collaborate. You spoke of Mumbai, my home city. Only last month, as a part of the Vanijya Saptah, I had visited and inaugurated a center for excellence in logistics at the Niti campus in Powai, one of the most beautiful campuses that you can find anywhere in the country. Right at the Vihar Lake possibly, you have the Niti campus. Incidentally, my father used to be a visiting faculty member at Niti many, many years ago, maybe in the 70s. It has over 1,200 students capacity. Can we not look at a tie-up with Niti and look at some joint programs with them, focusing on international trade, but also giving our students an exposure to industrial engineering? Imagine a student who knows industrial engineering and international trade. Look at the value he could bring to the table in top management roles in different corporations. Look at the possibilities of such students becoming startup entrepreneurs with knowledge of foreign trade and intelligent ideas to make logistics more efficient, to make his stakeholders, his suppliers more efficient, and build up the whole ecosystem to become a large possible unicorn in the near future. I would urge you to look at many colleges or campuses in the country which are currently probably not in flavor. You know, there are many streams where there are empty campuses, where there are organizations who don't have too many students. Can we look at taking them on lease for 10 or 20 or 30 years and expand our facilities? Let's look at out-of-the-box ideas and expand the good work that you are doing, including industry collaborations. I think it's time we engaged much more with industry. I see an excitement today across sectors wanting to do international trade, both in goods and services. They recognize that the world today is looking up to India and is encouraged by the visionary leadership of Prime Minister Modi, by the decisive leadership that India today has, by the transparent ecosystem in government, in business that they see and witness in India, by the rule of law that India offers, a strong judiciary, a vibrant media protecting interests of all stakeholders. The world today wants to do business with India. They want to work with trusted partners. We have the Director General of the World Trade Organization visiting India for the last 2 days. You should see her talk about India with passion, talk about the potential, the huge role India and Indians have to play in the emerging world. And I'm sure the possibilities for IIFT to grow, dovetailed with the growth of India that the world today recognizes, is immense, is huge. And industry collaborations, industry partnerships, engaging with the private sector in a bigger way, working with other institutions, both in India and abroad, I'm sure we can become the way forward in the days and years to come. I would urge you to immediately call a Board of Management meeting, reflect on all of these ideas. We need to have a board, we need to have a leadership which is vibrant, active, proactive, committed to our institution, involved in our institution, involved in all the activities. Particularly, I would have loved to see all the Board of Management members, at least those of them who are from Delhi, at the convocation ceremony. And that's the kind of leadership that this organization is looking for. And I would urge you to build up that leadership right from the top so that our students and our future students can get the best of technology, the best of insights into foreign trade, foreign international laws, economics, business management practices. I think we need to use this disruptive time that COVID has provided us to shake up our own organizational thinking also. Let's look at some disruptive ideas. Let's look at changing. In fact, it's the day and age of learning, unlearning some of the things that we may be doing in the past, and relearning, reflecting on all that we are doing to improvise upon it, and then repeating this process over and over again, so that we can, it's something like a goldsmith or an artisan does. It's completely something you have to restructure again and again. I think despite challenges, India under Prime Minister Narendra Modi has truly shown to the world the talent that each one of you has. We have shown that we are a resilient nation. We have shown that we have leadership and we have people, 130 crore Indians, working as one, working as Team India. The spirit of one country, one nation, one objective, a prosperous India. And with that objective, when all of us work as a team, take rapid strides, work with that collective enthusiasm that we see in our young boys and girls, there's no power on earth which can stop the prosperity and the bright future that we can see before our eyes for India. Exports, and for that matter, foreign trade. There's a lot of things that we need to import, and we will continue to import. Trade is a two-way affair. We are looking at expanding our relationships with like-minded, rule-based, transparent countries, democracies, vibrant economies which are looking to do more business with India. A number of engagements on free trade agreements, comprehensive economic partnerships are going on. And I'm sure the work that all of you will do after graduating from IIFT will help us in achieving this transformational agenda for the country, for our international trade. In fact, trade today requires a lot of study, deep diving into what practices other countries follow, working towards making trade more transparent. There's a lot of non-tariff barriers that need to be studied. We need to work to resolve those non-tariff barriers. Wherever we find an unfair, unjust treatment to India, India will have to take reciprocal action. But India will work for the interests of India. India will work to protect the interests of every stakeholder in India. And with that mission to provide free trade, but within the rules-based multilateral trading system, with transparency and honesty amongst all stakeholders. I think the role of all of you in foreign trade, the role for studied engagement, the role for deep research in different aspects of foreign trade clearly shows that there is a very, very important outcome that each one of you can help us achieve. In fact, we are currently in the midst of negotiating several FTAs. I would urge some of you to even consider becoming interns or spending a year or two in one of the bodies under the Ministry of Commerce. It can actually help you round up the knowledge you have gained in IIFT with practical experience on engaging with different countries, negotiations, research, study of what needs to be done, what can be done better, coming up with bright ideas, and truly it will help you become a much finer professional in the days and years to come. We have had several lost opportunities in the past. Let us not lose any more opportunities. Let's grab every opportunity that comes our way. Let the past only be a stepping stone, not a milestone. Let that not be a burden on our neck. We learn from the past, but work towards a better future. And I'm sure the various initiatives that the government is working on as one government, without silos, without departmental barriers, be it the Gati Shakti initiative, to have a much more planned, focused effort to create infrastructure in the country, bring down cost of logistics, the effort to promote domestic manufacturing under the Make in India program, the effort to make in India for the world, the effort to work in India to serve the world, the effort to bring quality and productivity as the center force of all that we are doing, as the commitment that a made in India product offers to the rest of the world, our effort to be competitive on our own strength without the need of clutches or support. I think the IIFT students truly can play a vital role in meeting the aspirations of the billion people, meeting the immense potential that the world sees in India, respecting and recognizing our own capabilities to achieve very, very ambitious targets in the future. Let IIFT pioneer ideas, innovation for the future of trade. Let IIFT stand for ideas and innovation. Let IIFT stand for the future of trade in India. Today, India is confident and yet dissatisfied. And I think that's a good thing. A dissatisfied person yearns for more, yearns for perfection, yearns for outcomes, yearns for, as they say, something which is beyond the ordinary, yearns to achieve the stars, wants something which is immensely, possibly sounding impossible today, but certainly can be done. As they say, you have all been wonderful students of IIFT, but ये दिल मांगे more. हम आपसे और बहुत सारी अपेक्षाएं करते हैं. I am sure that all of you will make this institution proud. Each one of you will hold the flame of IIFT in your hand. Go across the country, go across the world, and build that story, the India story, so that when anybody asks you, where did you learn this? Where did you get this confidence? I am sure Dr. Pant and each one of your faculty members will receive that as the biggest compliment and the best gift that each student of IIFT could give to your honorable professors. My compliments to you, Dr. Pant, to all your colleagues, to all the faculty members, to all the students. Congratulations. Do well. Be successful in life. Make India proud. Make your families proud. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir, for sharing the pearls of wisdom and for the insightful and thought-provoking address. So I would like to invite Professor Sanjay Rastogi on the dais, please.